dogs back, give them a second and go again. And hopefully they need to go across that crossing there and go around there, but they're a little bit sticky, and now they're mismothered, so, and they're on the wrong side of the fence a little bit, so it's going to be fun and games. Well, it's 4:39, just had a bit of a bark up. We've got 4 paddocks today. Each one of them is around about 30 hectares, a little bit less, and we should have around about 1,300 lambs to dock. So yeah, yesterday we did 700. Hopefully everything runs smoothly today. Got up early, got out here, had my coffee just to try and make the day easier and be a little bit less stress. Yeah, I like to get them in and have them in the holding paddocks so that when the dockers are here, there should be 10 of us today, so we shouldn't have any problems, but when they're here, there's no mucking around. I'll have them in the yards. It'll be nice and smooth. We should have 7 on the cradle, including the picker-upper, and then there should be 2 drafting and myself out there mustering. Well, we're just at the end of this first muster. It's going pretty well, but there is a bit of a crossing, and they didn't want to go across that, so I had to go down there. While I go, get them on, Doug. Quiet. What? I better get that. Well, it's 5:54, 6 o'clock, so we'll hopefully get this in about half an hour. This is 27 hectares. This is called Par because there's a Par site just over here. Hopefully they come in alright. I've been mustering down the bottom there, which is not ideal because probably all the sheep will be on that side of the paddock. So Bear can go down the left-hand side. He's done this like every time basically, so he knows what he's doing. Oh yeah, poo time. While I go, Bear. Yep, oh, it's funny how they poo on the prickles. Oh man, that must be nice. While I go, Bear. Yep. While I go, Doug. Stand there. These Garmin collars, I know my iPhone camera's pretty good, but you can see Pip up there, which is ideal, which normally I wouldn't be able to see her at all. So yeah, I love these things to have that ability to see where your hen dog is. I mean, you can usually tell where your hunt away is because he's barking away, but you can't see your heading dogs. I'm going to go around the bottom of this paddock because I know that they'll probably be in that corner, and Bear might struggle to get them all up. Well, there we are. A bit hard to see, but they're all on that side, which is where I thought they'd be, and the cows will be there too. That one looks like it's a little bit mismothered, that little lamb down there. And oh, this darkness is hard to video in. Sorry about this. Well, Pip's just bringing a couple down the ridge. Hopefully they're not too sticky. It looks like she's a sticky one. Come on, Pip, you got it. Yep, Pip. Good girl. Oh, maybe those lambs are quite young. That'll be my excuse for leaving them. Yep, Pip. There are totos in here, and they're a bit stickier. Pip's tough enough, but she's not as tough as Gus. Gus would definitely haul them down there, which is sometimes it's needed. Well, this paddock's nice and clear from what I can see. There was one down there with one lamb that wasn't a very happy lamb, so maybe it's not milking very well, that ewe, and the cows are over there luckily. I've just got to muster that it's 27 hectares plus 5 at the bottom, but the old man went down there last night and closed the bottom paddock off, which is ideal. That means that they should come out of there pretty easy. I might end up sending Cam around there. You basically go around this track, around there, go up this ridge, and then you start in that corner and you pop a dog down the back there. There's a few hectares down the back, and then the dog comes around all the way around, and then they come all the way around here and they walk up straight up a ridge, and there's a creek runs down here, and they have to cross the creek at the bottom because it's the only crossing there, and once they're on that side then they all just flow straight up into here. It's actually quite an easy muster and the singles, so yeah, really easy muster, that one. And this one's pretty good too. You just have to send the dog down, up and down and up, and then get to that corner, and then they come down here and up there, and then around here and in, which is what they did. So pretty happy about that. Although my dogs, they don't really understand that we only want the sheep. I'm glad I went over there, because they wouldn't have got the ewes in the corner, and they probably would have brought the cows, which wouldn't have been much fun. So the trick here is to get these in the lane, which have come from the bottom 2 paddocks, one down there and then one just up here, and then yeah, they're going to come up into here. There's a bit of a what do you call that, a wing, which is that fence line just here. So my heading dog has to come around the bottom of them and make sure they don't come through this gap, and then we take them straight up the fence, and then they usually just start flying straight along here and into the yards. But yeah, it can be a bit tricky. Usually use the rattle. The rattle's pretty handy, and the cows are often the thing that yeah, get in the way. So I'm going to go down here, around, go around, down there and up, and then get in the back of them instead of going straight through them. We just want to get half of these up to the top end and leave half here. So I might just leave some of my dogs, leave my dogs at the back here, and yeah, I can walk up. Get them on. Ole go. Ole go. Come and sit down. Sit down, Chase. Late. Enoho. Enoho. They're not looking too bad, the lambs. Thought they'd look a bit better, but the ewes aren't fully milking off their backs, which is ideal. They're not losing condition, which is what I want. So yeah, hopefully we can have a better ramming and get a higher percentage in lamb. Well, like not in lamb, well in lamb, and also fecundity, which is how many lambs I have, because we want that around about that 180% to get mostly twins. Instead of, we don't want heaps of triplets, and we don't want singles, and we don't want dries. So yeah, if I can keep them fed well now, it'll help later on. Have to go sort these cows out. They're just at the bottom here. Hopefully those girls don't come into the laneway when I get those sheep over there. So they'll come straight down this fence line kind of, and straight into the laneway here, and then I'll bring them up towards me. Like these girls from yesterday have mothered up. There's 2 there. There's 2 there and 2 there. That one's only got 1, but she might have only had 1 at the start. So I just want to open this and hopefully they come through. Come on then, girls. Tucker in here isn't too bad. It's about the covers I want. I've just got to hold it there, which is the hard part. If it gets any longer, it'll go to seed and you get tufty bits like the longer bits. A few thistles. Look at these thistles. Not ideal. Hopefully we can get around these girls. Go girls. Hey, 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 hey. Go mother up, take your carbies. Hey, hey. Still a bit ridgy, some of them. I'll put on some weight. There's plenty of tucker. Well, the cows are in the way, and it didn't quite go that well, so we're going to have another go at that. While I go, Duke, just call the dogs back. Give them a second and go again. And hopefully they need to go across that crossing there and go around there. But yeah, they were a little bit sticky, and now they're mismothered, so, and they're on the wrong side of the fence a little bit. So it's going to be fun and games. We've just had a shocking performance. Everyone saw it, everyone on the cradle. That's embarrassing. This is the tricky part, trying to get these up there. So let's just see how we get on here. I'd say we might have a bit of luck here, I reckon. I've just opened that gate, but the gate at the end of the lane's closed, so that gate there's closed, but that's open. And there's a bit of a little area in there, and we should get them. We got them. Well, the day's turned out pretty well, actually. Cam's just getting a couple of lambs that must have gotten on the wrong side. Try and catch them, put them back in. Want them in the right mob, obviously. So they mother up well tomorrow, or today, end of today. I'm going to push these out, and then we've got this one mob in here. There's only 39 ewes in here, and then we've got 2 big mobs down the bottom there in a different set of yards. Hopefully these last few get through here. Right, hip up, hip up, hip up, hip up, hip up. Quiet. Be quiet. Yeah, quiet. Quiet. Leave it. Leave it. Quiet, Duke. And no hold it. Well, it worked. They had a lot of yelling. Another mob done. We're getting through them. These are the singles here, and they're looking pretty good. The lambs are pretty solid, actually. Woo there, woo there, woo there. So, yeah. There's 290 of them on this mob. Don't know how many lambs yet. They'll be counting the tails. Woo there, girls. Run over your mate. So there we are. It's our last mob. We've got 2 little mobs to do, but I'll do them with the old man probably and Annabelle later on. So these are all twins. There's 341 in here and 198. I said stocked about 201, I think, or 200 and something, 203. So bugger all have died, and survivability's been great, and they're looking pretty good. That's 172% to what's here, but it'll probably be about 170 odd or less to what was set stocked, but I'd say the mixed age will probably only do 144 or something percent to the ram or something. Yeah, but I'll work that out later. Well, g'day, welcome back. So today, another day. Yesterday we did the docking, or tailing, depends how you, well, I'm from the North Island of New Zealand, and we call it docking up here. They call it tailing in the South Island. Bit of debate there. But anyway, I've got the quad bike because my dogs did a fair bit of work yesterday, and I want them to not have to run around. But we use the Suron, you see, and it's pretty handy, like where you can go is like much better than a four-wheeler, but obviously your dogs have to run everywhere. You can't carry as much, but yeah, other than that, I mean, you can follow fence lines, you can go anywhere where the sheep are. So yeah, look at this. That poor girl had black udder, and there's not much you can do about that. Yeah, she's obviously just carked it. Sometimes the udder will fall off and they'll live, but sometimes they just die. So she's obviously died, and she's got a couple of nice lambs there. So unfortunately, they will live. They're good lambs, but generally we just leave them. They just won't be as good as at weaning. They'll probably be 25, 26 kilo lambs at weaning. A good lamb should be over 34, 35, hopefully. Hope my average to be late 30s, ideally in the earlies, but we'll see. That'll be 100-day weaning. Yeah, so the earlies did 136%. They scanned 158%. Just working out, my projection will be overall I'll do 139% to the ram. So basically all of your poo is taking a poo. Man, that's smelly. So basically you go off your scanning tallies. So how many ewes you scanned, and then how many lambs you get. And then you just divide, what do you divide? You divide the lambs, how many lambs you get, by how many ewes you scanned. And then you get your lambs to the ram. And then there's heaps of different things to make it even. Like if you want to compare your farm to somebody else's farm, it's like some people leave their ram out for 50 days and some people leave their ram out for 34 days or even less. So if you're going to be leaving your ram out for 50 days and you have a really spread out lambing because you have a spread out ramming, so you have a long ramming day or amount of days you leave your ram in, then you're going to end up with smaller lambs at weaning because you haven't condensed your ramming. So, you know, like if somebody's getting 145%, but they leave their ram out for 50 days, it's different to somebody who gets 140%, but they leave their ram in for 34 days. So 34 days is 2 cycles. A cycle is 17 days. So most people try to condense their lambing so that they get more even lambs at weaning, and therefore it makes your farm more efficient. So I'm trying to go that way, and this year I've left my ram in for 44 days because we had a really dry autumn. So yeah, anyway, we'll keep going because this will start boring people, and we're going to go and have a look at the ewes and the lambs and make sure they're mothered up alright. There's no real obvious problems. If I can fix the problem, I will. Sometimes you get mismothered lambs at docking or after tailing or docking, which is the same thing, tailing and docking, just get that clear. Sometimes you'll have a muck up and you can't fix it, and you just end up with a few lambs at weaning that are not as big as what they could have been, and the mothers, the mothers don't find their lambs. But I mean, the processes that most farmers go through are pretty good now, and we try to make sure that they all mother up properly, because it's not good for us, it's not good for them, and ultimately we're here to look after them so that they give us production. So keep going. We didn't dock these yesterday, we docked them the day before, but I left them just in this paddock. They usually have this paddock and the next one. There's a 3-wire electric down that ridge. They usually have both of these paddocks, but I just left them in here to mother up. So I'll open the gates again and they can spread out. I still don't know, what's going on there. Have they been running around this morning and that's why they're in a mob like that, or have they not mothered up? These are the concerns you have. Surely, I mean, there's no excuse for them not to have mothered up, because I've given them a small enough paddock, and they've had plenty of time. I've had a couple of beautiful days. Well, this is a good sign. I put one mob in here yesterday, and this is the only ewe left here, and I assume they're her lambs. There's two pretty good lambs there. She's obviously done something to her leg, and she doesn't walk around very fast, but anyway, she'll be alright. There's a good tucker in there, and those lambs have been doing well. But yeah, everything looks pretty well spread out. I put the other mob just there, so if there was a problem, you would probably see 4 or 5 lambs just sitting around doing nothing. And same with here. You'd see a couple of lambs sitting at the gateway. I've seen that before in other years, but this year they've obviously mothered up well. The stock are looking pretty good. I had a mate who came and helped me yesterday. I think it's probably the first time he's come to help me, but he's a farmer also. He probably gave me the best compliment that a farmer could get as a sheep farmer. Yesterday, first thing, he said, "Jeepers, the ewes are looking fat," which is nice. And I think they are. They're looking okay, but that is one thing that I really need to get right, is a good fat ewe, because that will lift my production big time, because it should mean that I can get more ewes and lamb to higher percentages, so get more twins out of my ewes. I think people would say that is your number one driver in production, is skinning percentage, which leads to weaning percentage. Because they've been fed well over the winter, they got fed well pre-lambing, and then they're being fed well during lactation. They're not, what they say is, if they don't get enough feed, they milk off their backs, which is basically they take their weight, they'll just start shredding weight off them, and they'll keep milking, but they still won't milk to their potential. But yeah, they'll shed weight off them, and then you have to try and get the weight back on them from weaning time until mating, and then if they haven't got that weight back on, then they won't flush, and they won't ovulate well. Yeah, if I can keep the weight on now, then it's going to make it so much easier when it comes to at weaning time. All my ewes will already have good condition. Won't take me much to get them up to weight before the ram goes out, and when the ram goes out, they'll be good to go. So yeah, that's the whole idea, and the quality of feed this year is so much better. We've still got a little bit of roughage, and it's getting a bit long too. See that? That's not ideal. That's her, and that's her calf. Hopefully they figure it out. I'm sure they will. She's walking the wrong way, and he's walking the wrong way. I believe it's a he. Don't fall off, girl. Well, they've got all day to figure it out. Yeah, so I mean, you do want to be checking. Obviously, this is just basic checking, but she's got her twins. She's got twins. She's obviously just got the single there. Hopefully, she's only had the single. She's got her twins. Twins, a couple up there with her, a couple up there with her. Might be one for her. It might be a dead one from a while ago. There's two there. Two there. Two there. It's a happy days. Well, yesterday we docked this paddock and that paddock, and yeah, the singles were down in there. There's 290 singles. I didn't think I set stock 290. I thought I set stock 289. But I don't know, maybe, yeah, kind of random. But unless one or two jumped that way. But I didn't see. Oh, I saw a couple of deaths, but very few deaths in that paddock. So that would explain things. But there was 291 lambs in the singles, 290 ewes, so that's ideal. I fed them not a hell of a lot, which is normal for singles, because otherwise the lambs get too big and then they can't get them out. So they get a lot of dystocia. which is stuck lamb basically, if you don't know that. And then these ewes, they did pretty well. I think they're 172% to how many ewes were there. And I think I lost something like 5 ewes or less. And unfortunately, the neighbours had his hoggets in here, and the cows must have pushed a few posts over, and a couple of his cows and 39 of his hoggets were in here, so we pulled them out yesterday. So we've got some hoggets around here that hopefully will get up here. We'll see if we can push all my ewes and lambs down and bring the hoggets around here, probably down to there and then down to the road to get rid of them. Not that I'm too concerned, because this feed is a little bit too long, and what happens is it's going to go to seed. See this tufty stuff here? You'll never get rid of this, especially if you let it go too long, and it's already too long for this kind of... It's about right, but I'm not going to be able to hold it. I don't have enough cattle and enough sheep to hold it at this level right now. And we're going to start growing about 65 kilograms of dry matter per hectare in November, and I'm only eating 42. So what's going to happen, it's going to get long enough, and then the plant's going to say, oh, well, I've done my business, I don't need to grow anymore. I'm going to put out a shoot, and I'm going to go to seed, and then I'm going to die. And then when it dies, it goes lignin-y. It changes from a certain amount of megajoules of metabolizable energy. It's kind of like counting calories. So it changes from basically being sugar to being wheat bix. And then you have to ask your animals to eat wheat bix instead of asking your animals to eat like protein and sugar. So your animal is going to go backwards, and your production is going to go down, basically. So I am going to try and stop that happening by doing a small amount of chemical topping, so that kills the bad, it kills the plants that are too long and go into seed, and then it gives opportunity for clovers to come up and better pasture, basically. So we're going to be doing a bit of that. That will help, as well as taking stock off of the flats and doing baleage in the flats. So basically silage or baleage, but it will be wrapped bales. So we'll do that on the flats, bring all that stock onto the hills. They'll hold down my pasture, a little bit of chemical topping, as I said, and then, we can keep our pasture where it needs to be and keep quality. The only reason why this place is got good quality like this, it's about 1,000 different decisions through which I have managed with my mentor, but to keep it like this, I need a few years like this, and then my stock will do a whole lot better. If I don't keep on top of this feed and keep it from going to seed, my stock won't do well. My lambs won't grow at 300 grams per day up until weaning, and then I won't get that production that I need. Well, I had the mentor around here the other day, and it's funny, because another set of eyes is great. So look, you see this? This is just shit feed. And the only thing that's going to do well off that is nothing. Nothing's going to do well off that. That's rank. So this whole face is just crap feed. And you see it on videos all the time, and people don't really explain it to you. So this is the only stuff that will be palatable. And this is just getting a bit long, and like, if I don't do something about this, then my animals aren't going to do well. So this is the kind of face that should be chemical topped to try and get better pasture quality, or you hold it down with cattle in the spring. But we don't have enough cattle. Cattle are too valuable at the moment, and there's only so much you can do. There's only so much cattle you can hold on for a short amount of time. It's going to get dry generally January, February, so I need to exit out of my cattle by then. But for now, I've purchased a few more steers, and we also wintered a few steers down at our other little block. So they will help keep the pasture suppressed and keep the quality there. But yeah, I'm going to have to do something about faces like this, and that's what I'm going to do. So some people don't show you pasture, and I actually haven't shown you a hell of a lot. I haven't shown people a hell of a lot on this platform about pasture, but yeah, if you actually get down there and have a look at it properly, you realise what good pasture is and bad pasture is. And it starts from the pasture. Well, it starts from the soil, and then it starts from the pasture, and then it goes into your stock, and then you get good results through your stock. You know, you're not going to get 80% off mum if your pasture isn't good. I've got a bit more work to do here, and it's a constant battle, but the fundamentals are changing, and changing for the better, hopefully. Well, there you go, that's a single paddock, and there's twins in there, so that's how I got 291 lambs and 290 ewes, and I've seen quite a few like that, and she will have that blue dot on her back, so she was scanned as a single, but I'm not too worried, apart from the fact that I've set stock her in a lighter harder, so that she probably won't be milking so well, and that's probably why she's not super fat, whereas in this paddock we can see it on that fence line, heaps of grass, less grass, so that's why we set stock at different rates, because she needs a hell of a lot more feed than the rest of them. Another single for you. I shouldn't be rude. Hopefully my scanner doesn't watch this. It's all good. Like, I'm not worried too much. Here's the dream for you. This is what I'd like the whole farm to look like. Basically a lot of clover and very good quality feed. If it could look like that from about the start of August basically till January, and then it can get a bit longer than that after that, but I mean that would be perfect amount of cover, because it lets your clover come up, and the clover's much higher megajoules of metabolizable energy value per kilogram of dry matter, and also this is all good, so when they have a nibble, that's what they're getting, and they'll be able to eat that, and they'll be able to digest it very fast and keep going. They might be able to eat 3.5 kilos of that per day, and if it's at 11.5 megajoules of metabolizable energy, then they'll be getting their daily requirement, which is, I don't know, I think it's between 30 and 35, depending on what part of lactation they're in, and also if they're a multiple or a single. Well, we're just out in the Hogget country now, and this is going into kale, and I haven't been able to hold it down. I'm shedding. I had too many hoggets for just that one paddock, but like I had too many hectares for the whole lot, so I only set stock them at about 6 per hectare hoggets, or 7, and then I put cattle in here as soon as I purchased these things. Look at those things, they're looking great. They purchased them at 538 kilos, so big boys, but they'll fill out, and they should be able to kill them at 640 kilos at $9. Doug. Oh, well, we can do that, I guess. Oh, that's a nice poo. About maybe $9, 340 times 9. You can work that out. 34 nines. What's that? 27. I don't know. It should be a bit over $3,000. So yeah, they've been here to try and hold down the tucker, but haven't been able to. I put 6 in there, 6 per hectare in there and 6 per hectare in here, and now I'm just gonna start shedding these out. So once they're a bit older, they'll go through the gate. I've just done a few. Ooh, where's the mother? Where's the mother? That's not cool, man. That is not cool. Who's coming back? Sort it out. They've taken off without their lambs. Well, I found its mother. Just gotta walk it back to it. It's usually better to walk the lamb back, but anyway, we did a bit of both. Happy days. Righty, I'll get out of here. It's cold. It's wet. There's a lot of hoggets and a lot of lambs around here. Well, yeah, it started to rain, and it's warm rain, and this spring is just proven to be a bit of a hassle for me. Stay there, dog. I've got too much feed. So yeah, I'm gonna have to end up topping the paddocks that I can. And yeah, what do you do? You know, I've got 8 cows in an 8 hectare flat paddock. Well, just about flat. It's you know, 1 per hectare. Generally you'd set stock to about 0.3 per hectare. So I don't have enough stock. I had a really hard autumn, obviously, as I've said, which means you can't carry a lot of stock through the winter, because to carry stock through the winter you have to have feed for them, and to grow feed for them you need to grow it in your autumn, and if you don't grow any feed in the autumn, then you can't winter many stock. So I didn't winter many stock, and now the spring's come along and it's kicking my ass. So it is what it is. Got a few cattle in there. That's probably better covers in there. Oh, it's starting to rain properly. Start earlies, and then these are the hoggets, the twinning hoggets. But it's so warm, like these, she'll be doing pretty well actually. Well, you lost me. The water went over the camera. And this Where on Earth jacket is pretty bloody mint. I like this jacket. What a beauty. So this is, what is it? We call it canvas. Oh, get up, Doug. Go and get up here. Get up here. Go and get up. But the chickories are humming. They're absolutely smoking at the moment. And I've had to put sheep onto the chickories, so more sheep on the chickories takes more sheep off my grasses. But yeah, I've got 3 paddocks down on the flats. So the best paddocks on the farm, and I'm going to have to do baleage in them. Pull all the stock out of them. Oh, I basically have already, and put some more steers and things out on the hills to control this country. But I don't have any more cows around this area to put in this paddock, so I'm just going to end up topping this. There's a few kellies coming up. This time of year we've got to start spraying for kellies. We're docking, starting to put in crops, still going around the hoggets to check them for dystocia and things. So it's a busy time of year. If you made it this far, thanks for making it this far. Good effort. Yeah, I'm going to try putting out a few more videos, and yeah, I just thought I'd let you know, like, partly the results of how it's going to go, because we scanned 167% over the tutus, over every ewe that was scanned. 167%. Had a lot of dries. I think we got rid of about 145 dries or something, out of 2,475 ewes. But yeah, it's looking like I've still got these two dock and one other paddock that are lates and lights. So I'll dock them and then I'll know for sure. But it's looking like I'll be about 138% to the ram. So basically you just go, there was 2,475 scanned, and we're going to have 3,420 something odd lambs, I think. If we divide 2,475 by 3,400 and whatever it is, then we should get out about 138%. I'm hoping to get about, you know, like a 5-year average of 155% would be my goal to the ram. But for now, this last autumn obviously was very hard, as I've said. I also worked out my death rate in the lambs. If you times the amount of twins you had by 2 when they were scanned, and the amount of singles you had by 1, then you work out your potential amount of lambs that you could get, and that was 4,114, I think. And then you basically work out how many lambs you're going to get this season, which is about 3,400 and something. And you take, you go 4,114, take away the 3,429, I think it was, and you get 600 and something. And then you just divide the 600 by the 4,114, and then it should work out, I think it was working out at 16.7% death rate, which is around about average, probably a bit better actually this year, because they were well fed during lambing, so that will really help with survivability and things. I also always share my ewes in winter, which really helps with survivability. You get less casts, and also you get a bigger lamb. So sharing midwinter gives you a bigger lamb, because when they're shorn, they go out and they're hungry, they eat more, and then they grow a bigger fetus inside them at that mid-pregnancy, ideally at mid-pregnancy. And then because they get that bigger lamb, or bigger, fetus, the survivability is generally better. But feeding in that late pregnancy usually gives you a nice big lamb too. So I did do that on the hills. I fed really well late pregnancy, and I think that's why my lambs on the hills are actually probably bigger than my earlies. So yeah. Anyway, 16.7% death rate in my lambs, pretty good. Pretty happy with that. 138% to the ram. It is what it is. I'll do better next year for sure, because I've got fatter ewes and I feed them well. So hopefully the Hoggets do 85-90%, and then we'll have a bit over 4,000 lambs total, which will be around about 10 lambs per hectare, which isn't too bad. So anyway, happy days. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you in the next one.